Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Dr. Nasir Sheikh Show. I'm your host. My name is Dr. Nasir, and what's on tap for today, folks? Well, we went to the video archives and we found a great interview from a few years ago on CNN between Rick Wilson, the RINO Republican strategist, and Paris Dennard, who was part of the Trump team during President Trump's administration. They're on CNN and they're discussing the Stormy Daniels situation, the payoffs, the money, all that stuff, okay? So we're going to get to that, folks, right now. Let's do the reaction to it and let's head to the video.
Strategist and Paris Dennard, CNN political commentator and member of the Trump Advisory Board. Gentlemen, let's get to it, starting with all things Stormy. Rick, you tweeted that Trump is worried about this whole Stormy scandal because of financial reasons and not political. Why?
I think he feels like his political base is secure. They've told us over and over they will tolerate any amorality, any scuzzy behavior. I mean, he could be hitting with her on the White House lawn and they'd be like, yay, go MAGA. But I do think he is worried now that as the NDAs start to look a little more brittle, and as Stormy Daniels and other folks look at angles by which they could litigate on this, I think he knows it's going to cost him legally, it's going to cost him financially, it's going to start eating up his bandwidth. He's going to have to actually pay lawyers. They're not all going to take out a home equity loan to cover up his dalliances with porn stars. So he's going to end up with a lot of costs. And I think also, we got to also think about Melania's prenup with him. So there may be a money equation there as well that he puts him at some risk.
Why, if Paris?
Let's just do this. This is the same idiot, the same moron, the same retard, folks, basically. And, some people, I get emails back and they say, Nasir, Dr. Nasir, why do you call people names or whatever? Because sometimes, folks, you have to say the names because you just have to wrap the person around with that moniker. You just have to, because you just can't say, what a doofus or whatever. I mean, there has to be some substance there. And this is the same guy that was predicting that Trump wasn't going to win. What's he saying now? This was a few years ago. Nothing that he said has come to fruition. He was talking about a prenup between Melania and Trump. There was nothing going on in terms of that. Melania stuck with her man. Look, President Trump is not perfect. He's got his faults. He had affairs. Melania knew that going in, obviously with his history with his other two wives from before as well. And this whole thing about, not having enough money, a mortgage, a house or whatever. Come on, folks. He's a freaking billionaire. He's got lawyers on retainers. This guy, Rick Wilson, doesn't know a damn thing. Absolutely nothing. Let's continue and see what more light will be shed on this topic.
If the president, obviously he is involved, two Trump attorneys connected to keeping Stormy quiet here. If the president is innocent, why not say so publicly?
Well, I don't think that the president wants to dignify this story, be it true or false, because it's something that is personal and has nothing to do with him as the president of the United States of America. It didn't happen, if the allegations are true, while he was a candidate for president. It didn't happen while he was sitting in the Oval Office. This is something that is just terribly embarrassing for the First Lady. That's what I think about every time I hear these stories. I'm sure
But it happened, Paris, let me just jump in, because it happened days before the election, and the president on his Twitter feed does seem to weigh in on everything else.
Sure, I think the payment from Michael Cohen, from his personal account, from a line of credit, whatever, from his home, to Stormy Daniels did happen before the election. But the alleged affair...
You don't think that's a big deal, the timing?
Okay.
No, the timing. Who gives a crap about the timing? Is this Kate Muldoon? Who is this feminazi? Basically, this this babe on CNN. Does she need to be mansplained or whatever? Who gives a crap? Look, did the president ever say that he was, the perfect human being, the perfect man? No. Has he had affairs? Has he had situations where he's been with other women? I'm sure. And with the Stormy Daniels, okay, because she's a porn star. If she wasn't a porn star, would this be as salacious a story as they're making it out to be? And a payment, hush money, everybody, this is just part of life, folks. Okay, you pay some money to tell somebody to be quiet. I don't think it should be against the law. Okay, Hush money? Who cares? You gave somebody some money. It's a transaction. I don't care if you gave hush money to somebody. What do I care? And besides, he wasn't in office when this was happening. He was not in office. He was not a political person. He wasn't a senator. He wasn't a House of Representative member. He was running for the president, but he wasn't in office. Not like Bill Clinton, folks.
Well,
I think the time. I think the timing could be important.
I feel you struggling here. Let me help you out here.
No, I can't. I'm
Donald
not
Trump
struggling.
has a long pattern of engagement with a variety of women to whom he is not married. Michael Cohen has long been out there doing these NDAs for these various women that Trump was involved with sexually and in other capacities. This is something that is a long pattern of behavior. Now, are you telling me that Republicans have never once brought up the fact that Bill Clinton screwed his way through Arkansas? No, they did it all the time. It wasn't because it was before he was president that makes a difference. It's that he did it at all. And the fact that Donald Trump,
now you interrupt me. Let me interrupt you. No, it's different because at the time, Bill Clinton was the Attorney General and he was the sitting governor of Arkansas.
Yes.
And the claims came by someone who was a sitting elected official. Donald Trump. These allegations took place
Hang on, let Paris finish.
These allegations took place before he was president and before he was a candidate. He was not a public official, and there's a different standard. It's totally different. So you're comparing apples and oranges. If, however, something happened to President Trump while he was in the Oval Office, then that would be something different. But that's not what happened, like what happened with President Clinton.
If your standard is that low and you're okay with him screwing porn stars, if you're okay with him screwing porn stars, just say the words, I'm okay with Donald Trump screwing porn stars. Can you say that?
I can say that. I'm okay with Donald Trump screwing porn stars. So what? Big deal, Rick. You stupid, idiotic, moronic retard. And I label you with the acronym SIMMER. You have now joined the Dr. Nasir Shaikh list of SIMMER. Those people that are stupid, idiotic, moronic, and retarded. Rick Wilson, you have now joined the list.
For me, Paris? Because
what I will say is that you have no respect for Mrs. Trump. You have no respect for his children. You have no respect for his family. Because this has nothing to do with him as a candidate, and it has nothing to do with him as the sitting president of the United States. You can dig up dirty laundry, and I pray to God nobody goes back in your past and picks up something that has nothing to do with your present time as sitting here on this commentator. But it's rude and it's offensive. It has nothing to do with him as a president. Criticize the president for his policy. Criticize the president for his tactics, but don't go back and criticize him for something that has nothing to do with the presidency.
Folks across this country because of his behavior towards people. Don't you dare talk about respect when he insulted the family of Humayun Khan. Don't you dare talk about respect.
Who the hell disrespected Humayun Khan? Okay, he's a Gold Star father. That doesn't give him any extra privileges out there. Who cares? This is politics. They call it a blood sport, right? Well, you know what? If you don't want to, what do they say about if you can't handle the heat, get out of the freaking kitchen then. All right? And who cares what listen, these have nothing to do. These are just attacks. Rick Wilson, who cares? We're talking about Stormy Daniels. You're going to about, Khizr Khan. Who gives a crap about Khizr Khan? He's a Gold Star father. Okay, fine. He's his family, his son sacrificed his life, and we, absolutely want to basically say that yes, give all the respect and everything to his son for defending this country and for his sacrifice and for his service. What the hell does that have to do with his father? His father entered into the political fray, and he also went ahead and started to attack Donald Trump. All right, the whole Khizr fan, the whole thing was just fodder for, the political gains for the Democrat side. You don't think Hillary Clinton loved the fact that Khizr Khan was going after Trump as well? Come on.
When Donald Trump insulted John McCain's war service. That is a man who has no respect for anyone on this earth. And the fact that you're defending him on that speaks much more about your character and what low
Rick, I don't know
you.
Rick, I don't know you, but I would advise you to not question my character because you don't know me. But if you like to talk to me about my character and what I believe, I can have that conversation separately. But what I
Ooh, he just called him out. He said separately. You know what, Rick Wilson? He said, yeah, we can have it separately, Rick Wilson. I'll take you on, Rick Wilson. Separately. mano a mano, but it would be a man to an idiot. It would be a man, it would be, Paris Dennard, the man, to Rick Wilson, the boy. Rick Wilson, the idiot boy.
Will say is if you're going to impugn the integrity of the
You're
president,
defending Donald
do so
Trump
on
screwing
things
a
that are
porn
relevant
star.
to him
It's
as a
okay.
candidate
Okay.
and as
Embrace
the
it. Say
president,
it, Paris.
not things that
Just
have
say it.
nothing
Just
to
say,
do
I
with his
love that Donald
presidency.
Trump screwed
That's
a
all
porn
I'm
star.
saying.
You can just
Continue
say
to
it.
rabble.
You can just say
Guys,
it.
no personal insults, please. And let me.
No personal insults. She's saying to both of them, especially to the idiot Rick. And he keeps saying, if you want to say it, I don't have a problem with President Trump screwing a porn star prior to him becoming president. I don't have a problem with President Trump having an affair during his marriage prior to him becoming president. I didn't vote for him for the fact that he has affairs. We knew the situation. He was a playboy. He was a player in New York. Look at his past history with his other two wives. All right, he had affairs with them in order to go ahead and marry them. Marla Maples. I mean, come on, man. I mean, this is what's happening inside here. So what? So what? Now, somebody said that he was doing that with a porn star while he was in the White House or whatever. Yeah, I would have a problem with that, obviously. If he was having an affair in the White House, of course I would have that. Does anybody say anything about Bill Clinton on the Democratic side? No. Did you say anything, Rick Wilson, about that? No, you kept your mouth shut during that point because you're part of the elite establishment, of course. JFK, so many others.
Jump in because Paris, here's a question for you. Is we are talking about the payment coming out just days before the presidential election. Let me flip this. Let me flip it around. If this was Hillary Clinton, what would happen if Hillary Clinton's lawyer paid off an accuser days before the election? How do you think Trump would react?
Well, first of all, if Hillary Clinton had paid somebody off, it would have been a woman. It would be a lesbian, because there's no man on earth the way Hillary Clinton looks now. There's no man on earth right now that would be willing to do anything for any amount of money with Hillary Clinton, okay? I'm telling you what, folks, there's no way. It would have to be a lesbian, another girl, another woman that Hillary Clinton would be involved in. And, so what? She's, having a lesbian sexual affair with another woman, Hillary Clinton. What do I care if she paid somebody off? Listen, she paid enough people off for the Steele dossier. She paid enough people off, okay, in terms of, to get all those, cushy speaking engagements, that she had with all those Wall Street executives and Wall Street bankers and all the other people that she was at. And the same thing happened with Bill Clinton. And while she was in the, as the Secretary of State, I mean, she prostituted herself for the Secretary of State position. Am I not just giving out sexual favors, okay? But she gave out all kind of other favors in exchange for money. So what's the freaking difference? What are you just saying it for Donald? What, it's bad for Donald Trump because he supposedly, allegedly gave money to hush up Stormy Daniels? And you know what? I don't think he should. He should just, Stormy Daniels, go ahead, tell the whole world, okay? I had sex with a porn star. Probably raise you up a few levels with some people in the within those people that want to vote for President Trump as a badge of honor.
Fair question.
I think on the issue of a payment by the lawyer, I think he would have a reaction. Absolutely.
And what kind of reaction do you think that would be?
It would be negative. I'm certain it would be negative. But I'm also saying that is a separate issue from if she did something while she was a candidate or if she did something while she was the sitting Secretary of State. That is what all I'm saying is let's separate apples from oranges. If we're going to talk about the payment and the timing of that, that's fair. But to bring up the allegation that happened long before he was a candidate or president, I think is irrelevant. And I think that's why he's not commenting on it.
Because it happened years and years ago, and I think you're absolutely right in pointing out he was private citizen Donald Trump at the time. But it is entirely germane because we're talking about the payment and the this hush money days before everyone went to the polls to elect him as president of the United States. That is, you are allowed to connect the two there.
You're allowed to raise the question as to why Michael Cohen did that in his personal capacity as his lawyer. But at the end of the day, there's attorney-client privilege, and that's not going to come out. And I think all of this extra comment about what Stormy has to say or what she doesn't have to say is just to embarrass the First Lady, because her commentary has nothing to do with the presidency. Let's have a conversation and let the lawyers figure out if there is something untoward about the payment. Did it come from the Trump organization? Did it come from President Trump? Michael Cohen says it didn't. Michael Cohen said he took it out of his own line of credit from his mortgage to pay for it because he is someone who supports the president and didn't want this getting out. That's on Michael Cohen, not on the president.
Go ahead, Rick. I know you want to jump in. Go ahead.
You know, the argument that Donald Trump's lifelong pattern of infidelity, adultery, shattering every vow of every one of his marriages by his own admission, and the fact that Donald Trump screwed a porn star. Now, I don't think Melania Trump's going to be more embarrassed by what Michael Cohen or Stormy Daniels has to say than by the fact that a few months after she had a kid, her husband was screwing a porn star. And that's what you're saying is okay. I get it. You accept that. That's part of your moral framework. That's part of your moral landscape. Good for
Rick,
you.
you
Go
know what?
do.
Brooke,
But the
tell
fact-
him this
wait,
is I'm not going to tolerate that.
Paris,
you don't know my moral framework.
You don't
so
tell
you
me
should
what you're
just
going to
stop.
tolerate.
No, I am going to tell you what you're not going to. When it comes to me,
part of your
you're not
moral
going to do it,
landscape.
Rick.
It's okay
Brooke,
for
I'm
Donald
done
Trump
here.
to screw a porn star. It's okay for Donald Trump to screw a porn star if he's just not the president.
Keep
Is
saying
that
it
okay?
more and
Is that what
more.
you're telling
Keep
me?
saying it more and more. Get it out. Get it out of your system. We
Is
all
that-
know.
Yeah, Rick the stick, Rick the prick. Keep saying it. Get out of your system. Donald Trump screwed a porn star. 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 We know that, Rick. You're such a prick. The Rick the prick. The stupid, idiotic, moronic retard. We know that. And nobody gives a crap. Nobody really gives a freaking crap that President Trump had an affair with a porn star, or had an affair previously with either when he was married to Melania, or when he was married to Marla Maples, or when he was married to Ivana. I mean, nobody gives a damn except you people that want to keep attacking him for something that he did, in his personal life, which became public, obviously. But it wasn't like, the others that were doing it on government time and on the government dime. President Trump never did that.
All right,
That's
all
what
right.
you want to say. But at the end of the
Paris,
day, he's
is that
still
what
the
you're saying? 'Cause
president,
that's what
and
you're
you should have a
saying.
little bit more respect for Mrs. Trump than to continue to talk about
Yeah,
this.
I'm
Have a
gonna say
decent
this, okay,
conversation
I
about
think
the
if we were
payment
worried about
and Michael
respect
Cohen.
from
Go
Mrs.
ahead and
Trump,
do that.
her
But this has
husband
nothing to do with his
screwed a porn
candidacy.
star.
It has nothing to do with the presidency
If you
or
were
his
worried
policies.
about respect
Let's
for
have a
Melania
conversation on
Trump, her
policy.
husband shouldn't have screwed
Okay.
a porn star.
Okay, Paris and Rick. Wow.
Well, I just have to say that interview was just absolutely delicious. She was trying to control it. At times, she had no control over that. They were just, talking over each other. But we have, Rick the Prick Wilson. Basically, all he was basically bringing up was the fact that, the immorality of it. Listen, we never elected a president on moral values. We never do that. I mean, some people may, that's fine. If some people say, you know what, hey, there's no way that I can vote for a person that had an affair, okay, fine. If that's your, criteria that you have, okay, that's fine. But most people in this day and age, they don't give a damn. They don't. Private life before you were entered into politics. Now, as I said before, while you're there, while you're sitting, congressman or senator or House of Representative, okay, to a lesser, but you know what? There are ways that you might put yourself in a compromising position. Pictures, photos, tape recordings, videos, whatever that is in this day and age. And, could that lead to, you being in a compromising position to give, secrets away or policies or whatever it is? Of course that could happen. So the same thing, we wouldn't want our president to be doing that, to be put into a compromising position. But none of this occurred. None of this occurred. The sexual liaisons never occurred while President Trump was running for, while he was president. Now, even if somebody said, well, he was running for office, if he had, okay, so he's running for office and he's, it's not the best thing that could happen. But you know what? Hey, it used to be, remember with Gary Hart? torpedoed his presidential bid because they had a picture of him with an aide or some girl on a boat at that time, just completely sank his campaign. That was decades ago. Nobody cares now anymore. Nobody cares. Nobody. The Democrats are always talking about all kinds of sexual liaisons are good. Men on men, women on women, with animals, with your dog, your cat, your cow, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It can be with men who think they're women and women who think they're men and lesbian and gay sex. Everything is perfectly fine. But God forbid that you actually had sex with a woman who happened to be a porn star. That's out of bounds. Completely out of bounds. These guys are absolute freaking hypocrites, folks. These are hypocrites. They're rhinos, they're elitists, they're establishments. They don't know a damn thing. They were completely wrong on Trump. They had it all wrong. And now they expect us to basically listen to them one more time. They're just utterly, as I said, Rick the Prick Wilson, he's on my simmer list. SIMR, stupid, idiotic, moronic, retarded. Folks, we appreciate you taking the time to listen. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasir. If you haven't done so, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, like, share, and follow us. I'll leave you with my final. Put your comments down below. Love to hear what you think. My final thought is, when you're right, and when you're left, you're wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.